All right, everybody, you know what time it is. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show because it's coming up right now. All right, everybody, good evening, and good evening. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we're broadcasting to you from just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, here in what I like to call the lockdown living room. And we have a fantastic show coming up for you this afternoon, or I should say this evening. And of course, anytime we do a show, I have to bring in my lovely co-host, the queen herself, Miss Tree Doleman is in the building. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. So how was your weekend?
My weekend was all right. How was your weekend?
It was very good. No complaints at all. Just kind of enjoying what I felt was going to be the transition to springtime. As a matter of fact, even as I think about spring, you always know when I think about that, it is time to put on the shades. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm feeling the springtime is here. 71 degrees here in Atlanta. And of course, we're located just about 20 miles southeast of downtown Atlanta. So we're excited today. The temperature is in the 70s and supposed to hit the 70s again on tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm excited.
I am too. I've been waiting for this weather, so I'm really excited. And I'm like, yay, 70s.
You already know. Everybody's excited. Well, speaking of excited, we got some great topics that we have coming with us today. We got some great guests. So let's see what we have on the topics. We have to just peek down here and take a look. Here we are. Our topics for this evening will be breaking news, a little disrespect at Cam Newton's football camp. How would you handle that for you parents and coaches out there? Number two, some kind of sad, not sad yet, but I mean, certainly some distressing news out of California. Tiger Woods involved in a one-car accident so severe that he had to be removed with the jaws of life of death. So, I mean, so jaws of life by the folks there at the Highway Patrol. We're also going to be talking a little bit about the Hawks. Their up and down play. Is John Collins worth that max contract? High school football, we have our high school football featured guest from Tucker High School. Head coach James Thomson is in the building, taking over now a story program up at Tucker, and he's going to talk to us also a little bit about the college recruiting process and all that's going to be going on in the first half of our broadcast. So you need to keep it locked right here on the Real Talk Sports Show. We bring it to you from live on the scene. I want to make a little announcement here also, Tree, is that we have expanded where we can be seen. That's right. Tonight, we are also being live streamed on the Phoenix Entertainment Group network and also on WCRN, which stands for the C Room Radio Network. We're on their sports and entertainment channel tonight, live streaming as well. So we're on multiple portals. And of course, we got to give a big shout to all those of you who are watching on the replay on Periscope, and also those of you watching on demand on YouTube, and those who are listening. That's right, because we are live streaming on the radio, WIGO 1570. Atlanta's Incredible Radio. So again, we got them, everybody in the building. So
yes.
if people say they can't see you, they're lying. I mean, I'm sorry, they just are not aware of all the places that we can be seen. So let's talk a little bit about this before we bring in our high school guests. Tree, did you hear the news about Tiger Woods and his crash? I know you're a big golf aficionado. Did you hear about that? And what are your thoughts?
I love Tiger Woods. My husband gave me this book with Tiger Woods on it because he knows that he is my favorite professional golfer, and really, really heartbreaking. But I do want to say, because I did hear that you say that they had to use the jaws of life to get him out of the vehicle. That is what they were reporting earlier. But once they did the press conference at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they actually said that they did not, and that he was conscious and he was speaking to him when they got him out of the vehicle. So they actually did not have to use the jaws of life to get him out of the vehicle.
Well, certainly that is good news to hear because, again, this guy is one of the all-time greats. And certainly if we talk about Black history, we could just use him. Unprecedented success in the world of golf. Many people feel that if not the best golfer and greatest golfer of all time, certainly second only to the legendary Jack Nicklaus as far as what he has to do. Certainly our prayers go up to Tiger and his children, because young Sam was tearing it up. I don't know if you saw that clip a few months ago where Tiger and his son were out on the course on the father and son thing, and his son looks like it's in the genes.
Yeah. I was actually watching the tournament. You may not know, but I actually watched the golf tournament. So I was actually watching that tournament, and I was even watching the Genesis Invitational that was going on this past weekend, which is why Tiger Woods was in California in the first place. He was the host of that tournament. And so I did watch his son golf. His son has a great swing, and it was just so beautiful to see him and his son having that special moment. And you could just tell Tiger was so proud of his son with how great he golfed.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I mean, I certainly would be proud as well to see. It's kind of like for Tiger, it's like deja vu all over again, because he basically is experiencing what his dad experienced, Earl, when he was playing. So it got to be really cool for Tiger. So again, we hope and pray that he will come back. As you know, Tree, Tiger had just experienced a back operation as well, and getting preparation for the Masters, which I'm sure, barring a miracle, he won't play in that now. But certainly we hope that he would be recovered and to be able to get back on the course sometime soon. But again, breaking news from California, but good news. Tiger was involved in a one-car accident, but certainly, doing better right now as he recovers. I think the surgery is over now. Did I hear you say that right?
Well, they haven't said it, but I'm pretty sure that the surgery is over by now because he was rushed into surgery time he went to the hospital, and he arrived at the hospital, I want to say around 7:40 something a.m. California time. So I'm pretty sure he's out of surgery now, but his team just has not been reporting anything further than the fact that he just has serious injuries in his legs.
Gotcha. Well, like I said, we hope and pray that everything goes well with him. Well, we normally start the high school section off about the 8:15 hour, but this topic is actually one that I think that Coach might want to chime in on. Certainly, for those of you who haven't seen the video, I'll try to see if I can pull it up at some point. But evidently at the Camp Newton 7-on-7 camp here, I believe the one here in Atlanta, a young player kind of chirped off at Cam in a very disrespectful way. And so I don't know if you heard about that. If you did, what are your thoughts on that? And I'll bring up Coach in just a second.
Well, yeah, actually, I think I heard that the camp was in North Carolina, but it really breaks my heart. It really does. And I feel that the only reason that the young man did apologize is because it was Cam Newton and everybody knew that it was going to go viral. But the problem is that Cam Newton, he didn't have to be there. He was one of the sponsors for that event. So he's there helping out this young man, providing a platform for this young man to play on, and he's being disrespectful. I just really do not like what I saw. I do not like what I heard. And that is really a big problem with our youth nowadays. A lot of people ask me, why did you stop coaching? Because I still do camps and I still do one-on-one sessions, but I don't want to coach a team anymore. And now you see part of the reason why is because a lot of our youth, they really don't appreciate good coaching. They really don't appreciate a lot of times when you're focusing on a team, and their parents don't either. So this is really a bad reflection on his parents and his coaches, because when I was coaching, I'm a very strict disciplinarian, and my team knew you do not disrespect adults. You do not disrespect your parents. If I saw my children or my kids disrespecting their parents, they had suicides or they had different things they had to do. Do not ever disrespect the referee. If you have a problem with the call, you let me deal with that as your coach. So there's just different things that the coaches have to instill in the players, so where the players do not think that it is okay to act like this. When you are wearing that team uniform, you are representing that club, and you are representing that team, you are representing that coach.
Yeah, no doubt. And speaking of coach, we're going to bring up a gentleman that is recently been installed as the head coach of a storied program right up the road from us, Tucker High School. The Tucker Tigers now have a new man at the helm. We're going to bring him on. Coach Thomson, welcome to our show, sir.
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Hey, doing great, man. Well, first of all, what's it How's it feel to move down the road? I think if I can understand correctly, you were at Northview and now moving right down I-85 to Tucker.
Man, it's been a whirlwind, the past week, but Tucker's such a, it's such a huge tradition there at that school, and it's kind of overwhelming. So I'm still trying to get adapted and learn everybody, and trying to fit myself in there.
And speaking of that, what kind of challenge do you face? Like you just mentioned, coming into a program which has won multiple state championships, has done it in different levels, and has also had a multiple double-digit win seasons.
Yeah, luckily I've got experience in it. It's not my first rodeo, so I've taken over good programs before, and it's always a challenge. But I'm gonna tell you, Tucker's unique because of everything. Like you said, the tradition, man, it really is overwhelming, and I'm lucky to have that job, and I think that I'm willing to serve this community. But I hope my experience helps us through it.
Tree, you mentioned that you've done some coaching. I'm sure you got some questions for Coach as he makes this new move, bringing his brand of football to Tucker High School.
Definitely. So congratulations, Coach. And the questions that I have, the first one being, what is it that you really instill in your players? So I know when I coached, I always talked about how we were one team and we had one goal, that we all were one. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So what is your motto, and what is it that you instill in your players to get everybody on board with your program?
So everywhere I've been, the single word is family. And, because that's got such a deep meaning to me. I'm Polynesian, if you're not familiar with that, it's Samoan, like Troy Polamalu, like The Rock, and family is such a huge thing to us. And I think football kind of parallels that. You have the sacrifice and the hard work for a bigger, for something bigger than yourself. So that's been my motto, and that's been something I try to instill in the kids over the years. Teamwork.
So, Coach, you said you got that Polynesian flavor. Are we going to see like I've seen some of the other teams, the guys kind of open up with that. We're going to see that movement there. We're going to see a little kind of, what do they call it, the haku? We're going to see a little bit of that?
Yeah. I'm more about the action, man. I don't know about that part, but, I like playing, not the before the game,
Right. Well, at the end of the day, like you mentioned, it's not your first rodeo. Let people know a little bit kind of your background and what are the programs that you've been a part of to get this experience.
I kind of stumbled into coaching. I don't know how it happened, but I wanted to help my former high school coach. His name is Bill Gerke, down in Orlando, Florida. And from there, when I started helping him, I kind of just kept getting promoted. So I ended up becoming a head coach at Gainesville High School there in Florida, and we went to the state championship game. And I was the youngest coach to ever do that, and we were ranked nationally and all those things. So that kind of opened a lot of doors for me. So I took another program over it called DeLand High School there in Florida. Try to change the culture there and turn that program around. And I went to UCLA for a year, coached the running backs, and I went from there to Northview. So now I'm at Tucker.
Well, you've had a tremendous background and experience. Before we get into kind of what you're going to do at Tucker and your brand of football, talk to us a little bit about what Tree and I was discussing just earlier about kind of what happened at Cam's camp, and from a coaching point of view, what happens when a coach sees that in a player?
Man, the goal is to never see that, right? I think the mistakes have been made leading up to that a kid had that courage to do that. But at the same time, guys, he's just a kid, and I try to focus on all the other kids that didn't do that, and I think that as a coach, that's kind of my goal is, let's focus on the good here. But I'm glad, hopefully he learns from it. That kid does. And I tell you what, Cam's a better guy than me.
What you say, Coach? You might have kind of laid the wood to him a little bit.
I respect Cam a little bit more because he's a better man than me.
Yeah, Tree, you seem like you had a little bit of, you said, what'd you say you make your students do if they get out of line?
Oh, I would discipline them. They had to do push-ups. They had suicides, planks. It really depends on what they did, what the punishment was. But one thing I always told them, and I set the tone time I got my team before I even picked my team, if I made an offer, because I coach club, so you will offer a position to the player, and if they accept, then they came on your team. But I always let them know I'm a disciplinarian. I'll probably be the toughest coach that you've ever played for thus far, but you will get better. And my goal is to help you achieve your goals. So I always set the tone. I also let the parents know that I'm a very tough coach, and I just let people know. So I did what I said I was going to do. And one thing that I do not tolerate is disrespect. I'm not going to see you disrespect your own parents when they're paying all this money for you to be there. You're not going to disrespect your teachers. You're not going to disrespect any adult that I see, or even your teammates.
And so if I'm hearing from both of you, basically it's about discipline and trying to instilling in a way of going about their business with the kids, not just on the field, but even off the field. It's like, Coach, I think you said it best, that you prevent that type of thing from happening.
Yeah. She's had a good word there. It's respect. And, it's kind of a lost word in today's culture, because everything seems to be their entitlement seems to be a big word. And man, I'm about respect, and that's how I came up, and that's what I preach to.
Well, like I said, man, you have a track record at some outstanding programs, and certainly congratulations to you, man, for winning state championship in Florida, because, Florida, Texas, California, Georgia, if you win a state championship in football, you gotta bring it. That's not for amateurs.
Well, let me get that straight. We lost that game. We got to the game. We lost.
You got there.
Yeah, I was thinking, because you did say I played in the state championship. You didn't say you won, so I thought that as well. So
we played against Dalvin Cook. It was a Dalvin Cook led Miami Central, and man, let me tell you, we also that year we played against Derrick Henry, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Dalvin Cook was the best back we played.
Wow. You had to play two grown men in high school, basically.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right, they were the same size.
I know. That's why I said that.
Both of them. They were both rocked up back then too. So
yeah, they showed. Actually, you mentioned Derrick Henry. They showed a clip of him in I think it was 8th grade. Doing basically the same thing. He evidently developed that stiff arm very early, because he was steamrolling guys the same way in the 8th grade, and he looked like he was in high school playing in the 8th grade. So well, listen, man. But at the end of the day, you talk about those experiences. Tell people a little bit about the type of play. If someone says, "Hey, I'm going to go watch a Tucker High School game," kind of what should they expect to see when your boys hit the court, or hit the field, I should say?
I think everybody's kind of known for their offense, right? And I think that now we're in an age where the spread system, and I've been here for 4 years, and I can tell you right now, 9 of the 10 teams I've played every year are in the same offense. So it's interesting. I've been fortunate. I did a minority internship with the Jaguars, and I was able to go to UCLA and learn from those guys and learn some real football. So what you'll see from Tucker High School is pro system. You're going to see guys. We're going to shift. We're motion. We're going to get the best 11 kids on the field, whether that's tight ends, 3 tight ends, and we're 13 set, or we're in 21 set, or we're 10 set, whatever. But we're going to have the best kids on the field, and we're going to try to move the ball.
Well, so what you're telling me is we batten down the hatches for some excitement and wide open play out there at Tucker. Well, who could tell people a little bit, because like I said, we're down in Clayton County. You guys came down here and played Morrow High School this year. Tell people a little bit about some of the student athletes that we might want to be on the lookout for if we go to a Tucker game.
Man, I wish I could give you the names yet, but I just got there and I'm still learning. But I'm going to tell you this, Tucker High School is loaded with athletes. If we're not winning, you need to be interviewing someone else next year, because they got some kids that can flat play. I'll get you those names as I learn them.
Well, yeah, I was gonna tease you a little bit, Coach. I said, "Hey, Tree, Coach must be really new," because I was trying to go online and get some background. They still haven't put his picture in on, like, we go to administration. They're still working on getting his picture, his official picture as the head coach. So we know it's your brand spanking new. Like you said, man, it's got to be a very rewarding thing to see some of the things that you went through as a young man and be able to, matriculate to this point. Could you tell us a little bit about how important family is to you as well?
Yeah, family is everything, man. I mean, especially in our culture, it's just, if we didn't have each other to work through just living, I don't know where I'd be. So, with all the humility and as humbly as I could say it, man, I mean, growing up in Orlando is difficult. And without those things, in place for me, I'm not sure where I'd be.
Yeah, that's spot on. That's definitely spot on. Tree, any questions you might want to add in to while we have Coach here captive here on the Real Talk Sports Show?
I just have one final question. So tell me about your weight training program with the high school. I know that weight training is really big with a lot of schools. What do you think your team will bring to weight training? And I know in college, our weight training was similar to how the football games were. We had the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter as far as the workouts. And even though we were already in pain, but when we got to that fourth quarter, we had to continue to push through and finish strong. What is your weight training program like with Tucker, and how do you think that will relate to your football play on the field?
Man, it's there's a direct correlation there, right? It's real indicative. If you're a winning team, you're winning in the weight room, obviously. And I told the kids yesterday when I first met them, is if you guys want to win in August, you gotta win right now in the weight room. You got to put the work in. So I have a huge emphasis in the weight room. I'm not going to give you my secrets on air, but we're gonna be out working people. We might be running circles around ourselves, but we're going to be out working people.
Coach, man, I tell you, I like you said, I'm not giving you any secret, because he knew instinctively that our show is legendary for people having breaking news. So Coach like, no, I'm not dropping any more information. If you want to know more, you gotta come watch us play. And that's really it. Well, in listening to you, Coach, it sounds like you really have a formula for success. You talk about the respect. You talk about the whole idea of creating a culture of family. And of course, Tree hit it on the head, that idea about being physically fit for the rigors of a 4-quarter game. A lot of people can play a 3-quarter game or 3.5-quarter game, as we see, unfortunately, here with our Falcons. But championship teams have to go 4 quarters.
Not everybody has the depth or has the luxury of depth. There's only a few teams in high school that they can get away with having limiting the reps for kids. So, and even for us at Tucker, for us to be successful, we've got to have kids take a lot of snaps. To do that, you've got to be in shape and you've got to be prepared to, for that. So that's a huge emphasis for us. And like you said, completing the game, going 4 quarters, you can overcome, we did it in Gainesville because we were limited there as well. You can overcome a lot of the depth by just simply being tougher. And a lot of it is mental. So if you can overcome that hurdle within yourself, I think that it'll get into the field. It'll, transfer to the field, and I think we'll be successful.
Yeah, it's amazing how this thread runs through championship level or high performance coaching, that it seems like to never get old. So I had a chance to I was on YouTube just scanning around through some old stuff, and I found a Football Life Vince Lombardi story. And listening to you talk, and it was like listening to the narrator. This is back in the 50s, where players were saying the same thing, how Lombardi used to push them to the point where they thought they were going to die on the field. Now, again, please, everybody watching, listening, I'm not advocating breaking any type of safety protocol. I'm not saying we're going to go back to, Bear Bryant and the boys. Please, folks, I know everybody, the minister was saying kill him. No, but what I'm saying is, it seems like all coaches say the same thing. Tree said it also. The fitness, I guess Lombardi made the quote, fatigue makes cowards out of us all. And football, you can't be scared. So the idea that you're going to come in and have these guys physically fit and ready to go, it sounds like, man, you guys are going to, really, take care of business this year. And now, did it help you that Northview has already kind of played some DeKalb County teams? You kind of have some familiarity with those guys. That help at all?
Yeah, sure. Anytime you're familiar, it's good. But man, it's experience. You've done this as long as I have. Not much shocks you, not much changes. Like you said, going back to the 50s, man, game hadn't changed that much. It's still the same principles as it always was.
Yep, got to block, got to tackle, and you got to play 4 quarters. Last thing, you talk about coming from Gainesville. Certainly, there's a young man that graduated from Gainesville that kind of is in the news right now, Deshaun Watson. Any interaction with him while you were at Gainesville?
So let me tell you, that's funny. I'm talking about Gainesville, Florida.
Okay, there you go. See,
yeah, well, he's from Gainesville, Georgia, up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
the interesting thing is, I used to get a lot of his mail when he was in high school.
Really?
Yeah. So they had the military, the Semper Fi guys showed up looking for Deshaun Watson to give him an All-American award, and he showed up at the wrong high school. They were in Florida. They should have been in Georgia.
That's incredible. And you see, I even made the faux pas. Same thing. I heard you say you were Gainesville, Florida, but I'm just so, because Watson's been so much in the news with him possibly leaving Houston, all that kind of stuff. That's been kind of like numero uno on my mind. So anyway, listen, Coach,
I'll share with you a funny story, man.
Sure.
I probably shouldn't, but I will.
It's okay.
We had a kid named Tashawn Whitehurst, right? And he was very good. He's a good linebacker. So I got an All-American invite. It said he made a parade All-American. Congratulations. It's a plaque. It says Deshaun Watson. So I said, Tashawn, come in here, man. It looks like they've named you All-American. He got so excited, man. He took his shirt off, running around the weight room. But it was funny to me, but I probably shouldn't have done that.
You're muted.
There we go. Can I be heard now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right, you can hear me now. Yeah. So, Coach, you were wrong for that, bro. That wasn't. I mean, if I had my shades back, I had to put my shades on that because you threw some shades.
If he's listening, man, I'm sorry, man. It was funny. You'd have done the same thing. It was funny.
You're probably right. Well, look. Again, we appreciate you coming on. When does your actual spring schedule start as far as practicing, and then when do you anticipate your first kind of scrimmage game against another opponent?
So we were looking for a spring game right now. So if anybody's interested that's listening, hit me up. But I think we're going to start officially in spring, kind of toward the end of April. Right now, today was our first day lifting weights. And that's going to continue every day up until, we can officially start practice. So I'm excited. I got to find an opponent, but I'm excited to get going.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do, Coach. Now, I have all the coaches here in Clayton County. I am going to hit them up, especially Coach at Jonesboro. I'm sure they would be excited. I think they might be looking for some competitive action. So when would you want to have a game? Like next week, 2 weeks? What are you trying to do?
The end of May. At the end of May.
You sounded ready to go already. You were like, "Hey, I'm looking for a game now."
I'm not playing though, so I'm always. Just ask me. You have my number, so.
Absolutely, yes. I'll put you in contact with those guys. Listen, Coach, again, appreciate you. Hopefully next time we get some of your student athletes out here. We'd love to introduce the people to them. We always try to do that as well. And again, if you want to bring one of your assistant coaches, love to do that also. I know you're new, so I want to ask you to kind of get involved with, the social media. I'll just tell everybody, put in Google, put in Tucker Tigers, Tucker High School Football, and you will find where they're located on social media because Coach is new. All right? Coach, listen, man, we appreciate you. God bless you. We look forward to having you back on our show again real soon.
Thank you, guys. Thank you both.
There is from Tucker High School, Coach Thomson in the building. Hey, listen, he sounds like he's ready to go.
He does. I'm excited. I love what he talked about with family. That is so important, especially with sports. That's actually the reason that I selected the college that I went to, is because I felt like it was family, and I still to this day talk about the family that we have there. And he sounds like he's ready to get his guys ready. And I mean, the way he's talking, I'm looking forward to see if they actually win a state championship.
Well, certainly they got a lot of competition. The CAB, I think, sent 5 or 6 teams to the playoffs. Cedar Grove had an outstanding year. I think that once they got to the quarterfinals or semifinals, and then they always play a couple of cross-county games. They played here against Morrow High School, and I hate to see it, but they beat the brakes off them. It was like 42-6. So we look forward to them coming down again. I hope we'll cover that game in Terra Stadium. If so, we'll bring you out there. Well, speaking of great things going on, guys, we are being heard also on WIGO 1570. So we got to take a little bit of a break. But don't go nowhere. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Keep it locked right here.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at alumvisuallincoln.net.
That's right, Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. I'm sure you guys recognize that smooth voice behind those commercials. That would be me, and I'm encouraging you, if you need a vehicle for yourself, a family member, or even for your business, you can contact me. Give me a call at Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. I can be reached directly on my cell phone. That is 678 let me just put up here. Oh, there it is, 678-410-9833. Give me a call. I'll be more than happy to be your own personal automobile concierge, take care of you. We're located, as they mentioned, 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in Morrow, Georgia, which is literally right off of I-75 exit 231. So again, if you need a vehicle, call me, 678-410-9833. Well, for those of you who watch our program all the time, you know that our program is sports from a different perspective. So one of the things that we like to do each and every week is to have someone that is doing some great stuff in the community. We call it our Community Outreach Spotlight. This lady that's about to come on now, I know her very well and very personally. She does a tremendous job helping women in crisis, especially women that have been battered. There's been times where I believe in her own peril, they've had to extricate women out of very, very difficult situations. And so many women have went through her program and with her group and have moved from being victims to victors, from women to women and associates. My sister, the Lady Pink Panther, Minister April Lalande, is in the building. Sister, welcome.
What's up?
What's happening? How you been?
I am absolutely blessed.
Well, I want you to meet my co-host, Miss Tree Doleman.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you for joining us.
I am so honored, blessed always to be in his presence. You know it.
Well, see, that's let me get my checkbook so I can send out a check. Get that taken care of right quick. Get that done for you. Well, Tree, it's got to make you feel good that one of our final folks that we're having on for February actually specialize in helping women.
Oh, it does. I've read your story, so my hat's off to you. And as we know that with God, anything and everything is possible. And I just love how you are inspiring and helping so many women in the world. It is so needed. So thank you. Yes, it is truly wonderful to see you as our guest for this month of February and for all that you're doing in the community and it's helped save lives and impact lives.
Praise God. To God be the glory. Always, always, always.
All right, sister. So tell us a little bit, tell people about Women to Women Associates and tell us briefly kind of how that got started. What was the whole genesis for it?
Well, Women to Women and Associates is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that assists women in crisis and transition from domestic violence abuse, substance abuse issues, and homelessness right here in South Metro Atlanta. We try to exceed the needs of our clients by assisting them in whatever it is that they are facing. If it's a domestic violence situation, we want to make them safe. If it's a homelessness situation, we want to give them housing. If it's a food situation, clothing situation, we want to make that happen. Again, our mission in life is to exceed our clients' needs. We believe in the mission of Christ, and that is, if we say we are grounded and rooted in the Spirit of God and the love of God, then we believe in showing up in excellence and abundance. Okay. I've been doing this about 14, 15 years now, I think. This kind of all started from my own experiences in life. I have experienced all three of the main sources of our services. I am a 2-time domestic violence survivor. I'm a survivor of homelessness and drug addiction. I've been clean, saved, and sober for about 16 years now. And so, I think even back then, I kind of knew that I had a calling from God even before I got saved. I remember going in the drug houses and they would tell me, we'll let you in, but you can't be in here talking about that God stuff, okay? So I just, it started way back when. I actually had a conversation with my children not too long ago, and they were like, "Mom, you was always helping people." And so getting into the actual helping specifically women started with little Walmart bags at my front door. I would begin to hear about women who kind of needed help. And, I would put these bags by the door, and I would take a piece of masking tape and just loop it around the little loop with their name on it. And so as I was going out about my day, I would say, "Hey, I'm going in that direction. Let me take her this bag." And then people began to hear that I was kind of helping people and started donating. And I had a little Astro van back then, and it was kind of like me, Jesus, and the Astro van. We was all over the city, picking up donations and helping people, and it just kept growing until it grew into a donation center in one of the rooms of my house, and then that grew into where I had to get a storage. And then that grew into a bigger storage, which we turned into a clothing closet and a food pantry. And then, God basically showed up and showed off and showed out. And I've been helping women. I have clients in 9 different states now.
Wow. Tree, hear that story? That's a story.
That is a story. I mean, praise God. I mean, wow. It is, like I said, it's so needed. There's so many problems that women and young girls and teenagers face that a lot of people would never even think about. And so, like I say, there's a huge need for what you're doing. I'm pretty sure we all know somebody that has been through domestic violence, and a lot of people that go through homelessness, even now with everything that's going on. So definitely, and people that's recovering from drugs and getting their lives together, just phenomenal work. And the fact that it's spread to so many states, I mean, wow, that's wonderful. I love that you're getting the support that you need. That is really phenomenal.
Well, it's a good thing that we're a faith-based organization, because sometimes we don't get the support we need. But with God, all things are possible, and we continue to grow forward every single year. I cannot take all the credit. I am blessed with a team that is phenomenal. I always say they make me look good. My actual business partner, her name is Miss Benita Clark. She is the true boss. I always say I'm the CEO, but she's the boss. But Marquita Gladney, Cynthia Harper, Shara Marshall, Katie Coffey, Jonathan, we have supporters across the country that allow me to do what it is that I do. I know that I have a gift from God. I know that I have a purpose from Him. I walk in it every single day. Helping women is like the air I breathe every single day, but it is not just me. I could not do it without the amazing team, the amazing continuous supporters and donors that we have. I don't get federal money. I don't get federal grant money. I have operated this long because people believe in what we do. People know that we are here on the South Side with our foot to the pavement. We don't advertise. We don't market. We just continue to do the work that God puts before us, and we trust Him. That's it.
Let's go ahead here and put up your website. Now, can people go to the website? Do you have a link where they might be able to donate if they want to do that?
You can go to the website and donate. It's there. We are also, every way that you can donate, we're there. Cash App. All you got to type in is W2WA. PayPal, W2WA. We try to make that real simple. We're on Venmo. We're on just about every, different way you can donate. And then you can always call or look me up on social media to donate as well. We take very gently used items. Let me say that. You spring cleaning, we, again, hear how we operate. We operate in excellence and abundance. We don't give people things that we would never put on our own children, grandchildren. We take gently used items, furniture, food, and the biggest thing that we continue to need, Jonathan, besides money, are anointed, dedicated, Christ-like people. We can feed them, we can clothe them, we can remove them from unsafe situations, we can put them on a new journey. But what they need the most is a person in front of them that is non-judgmental, that has the heart of Christ, and that wants to see this person succeed. That's what we need more than anything else, is volunteers. People who are willing to be patient and loving and kind and generous. That's what we need. Especially women, my queen, God's blessings to you, especially women. We need women for our ladies. Our domestic violence victims are getting younger and younger and younger. And so we need positive women to make a commitment to be in these women's lives as they grow and get better.
Well,
Yeah, it does make a difference when you have positive women, and like the key word that you said, non-judgmental. That is so key.
Yes.
We all need somebody that we can talk to, somebody that we can vent to, and we feel that we will not get judged. So that is very, very true.
Yes. And Jonathan, thank you for giving me this spotlight. You are my big brother in Christ, my partner in life. My road dog. Me and Jonathan. It's my big brother, man. I love him, and I thank you for always thinking of my organization and spotlighting what we do. It means a lot to us that you not only continue to shine a light on a very dark subject, but that you give us the opportunity to say, hey, we're here. And not only does Jonathan do things like this, but Jonathan is a continuous financial supporter. He doesn't just talk it, he walks it.
Man, you can't report my business out in the street.
We have a joke with each other too when we're on the air together. We're not gonna cry today.
Right. No, none of that on the air.
So we end up crying at some point. But Jonathan, I love you. You're my big brother, and I just appreciate who you are in my life, and I thank you for always supporting me.
Well, I appreciate you. Certainly, stuff you've been through, and the way the Lord has allowed you to turn it. I hate to, here we go with the little colloquialism, but turn, this pain to promise, and like I said, from being a victim to a victor. But not only that, but being able to translate that to help other people do that as well. So that's the exciting thing. Let's go to social media real quick. A good friend of ours who watches our program, Donna Jones, gives a big shout out down from Maryland area.
Hey,
a big shout out there. There she is. And also another friend of the show, Vincent Turner, Mr. Football. He says, many words of God and great blessings and prayers to you. So certainly a lot of people watching the broadcast and are trying to encourage you to continue on. So you said they can donate Cash App or actually I'll just say donate. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Put donate. I'll put the $. You said W2WA. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm gonna get off the screen for a second here. I'll let you two little ladies chat here for just a moment. I'm gonna do a little housekeeping.
So again, if you're out there and you're looking for a great way to spend some of your time, we have had to almost reinvent the way that we help people these days. And so, we have a lot of opportunities for people to volunteer. Please get in touch with us. We're always looking for dedicated, I have to say that always, non-judgmental people. Because we deal with people who are homeless, we deal with people who are struggling with addictions, we deal with women who are in domestic violence situations. Some of them have gone back 2 times, 4 times, 6 times. That's just part of the game. We have people who have relapsed after being clean 20 years. That's part of recovery. So we're always looking for people who believe in, the passage in the Bible in Corinthians that love is patient and love is kind. Love is not judgmental. This is not easy work. people see me on social media when we're doing an event or we're out, giving things away, and they see the end result. They'd be like, "Oh man, I want to get into that." They don't understand. This is a monster. We tackling 3 serious demons in life: addiction, homelessness, and domestic violence. This is not for the weak. This is not a fly-by-night thing where you can jump in and think you're gonna get in some pictures and that's it. I know y'all see me and I be cute on social media, but listen, this is hard work. This takes a true dedication from your heart. It's long hours. It's a lot of, yes, it's a lot, but the reward, is so great. Me being a recovering addict, I can tell you, just recently we flipped the room of 2 young girls who lost their mom to COVID and lost everything. And we were able to go in and furnish their rooms and clothes and gift cards and money and food to the grandma. We even gave grandma gift cards and we bought all kind of stuff. We were able to go in and flip their room and make it beautiful for them. And the smiles on their faces is worth everything we went through to get it. When I see a woman 5 years down the line who is now no longer afraid to come outside, no longer afraid to make new friends, and her kids have recovered from the scars of cigarette burns and the beatings, and they're smiling again, and they're speaking again, the rewards are so much bigger than the work.
Just like I said again, we appreciate you. And before you go, I want to do a couple of things. First of all, we're going to pop up on the screen here. You can go to the website. You can see it right there, www.woman, the number 2, woman and associates, all spelled out, .net. You guys can see it right there playing on the screen. Please, ma'am, please, sir, go to the website. Or you can go to virtually any money app and donate to W2WA. That's on most money apps. Y'all know what I mean. Cash App. What's the other one you hit me up with?
We got Cash App, Venmo,
PayPal,
all those.
Right.
Or good old cash money. Call us.
Right. Check, credit card, gift cards, anything that can be converted to cash is acceptable. And again, so there's right there, any money app. Check them out, W2WA, or simply go to the website at www.woman, the number 2, woman and associates.net. Okay, well, before you go, we have to ask one sports-related question. What many people don't know, although she wears pink, she supports those in the green and gold for the Packers. So,
yes,
your boy Aaron Rodgers has been throwing a lot of smoke. So, do you think Green Bay should now do what they did to Brett Favre 20 years ago or so and draft the future quarterback? I know they drafted Jordan Love already. Should they be looking to possibly trade Mr. Rodgers? Because he made some comments.
Well, I'm going to say absolutely not, because Aaron Rodgers is just way too talented, way too experienced. I mean, this is a guy who's basically not been controversial at all for the majority of his career. We're all human, I might be a minister, but mess up my chicken at Popeyes, you might see me on World Star tripping, okay? So we are all entitled to want to pause, So I would say, on the one hand, not because of maybe some comments that he made, but maybe so that he can train. Maybe he can pass the baton to the next one coming, that they could come in now and maybe be there for the next 3-5 years, learning up under Aaron to make sure that we continue on with the great Green Bay spirit, the great Green Bay team, and keep that green and yellow going.
So, Aaron, as you can see, the parting words from the Lady Pink Panther are, show Jordan some love. That's right, I made it funny. Show Jordan some love. All right, well, listen, sister, we appreciate you. God bless you. One more time before you go, guys. Here it is. Go to our website, www.woman, the number 2, woman and associates.net. Remember, on any money app, hit her up at W2WA. All right, sister, until the next time, God bless you.
Thank you. Love you guys.
All right, guys, we appreciate all those of you who are listening and watching. We got to take a little break because it's about to get hot up in here because it's going to be football time. And we have two great guests that are going to be talking with us about the NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons, and more. But in order to do that, you must keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at Allen Vigil Ford.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
All right, boys and girls, we're back here for the final segment of the Real Talk Sports Show. I want to give a big shout out. When I say final segment, for those of you who are listening to us audibly on WIGO 1570, Atlanta's Incredible Radio. Remember, go to their new website, which is WIGO1570.com. You can click the Listen Live link and you'll find us broadcasting. Another good place you can do it. You can go on the free TuneIn Radio app. That's TuneIn Radio. It's really called TuneIn. It's a free app. Download it. Once you're in there, put in WIGO 1570 in the search engine at 8 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday, and bam, you'll find us broadcasting to you right here, right now. Again, big shout out to all those of you who are watching us on various Facebook pages. Appreciate you letting me share this on the page. Also, big shout out to those of you first-time watchers on the Phoenix Entertainment Group and on the C-Room Sports and Entertainment Network, because we're on all of those. And, of course, we appreciate those of you watching on the replay, on Periscope or on demand on YouTube. Well, everybody says, hey, man, when y'all going to start talking some football? Well, let's get right to it here. We have two gentlemen here that know a lot about the game. We're going to bring them up one at a time. One gentleman is not one, but two-time Super Bowl winner, also first-round draft pick from HBCU Fort Valley State. And good news, he's taking his talents right here to Atlanta, defensive back coach. A good friend of our program, number 38, Mr. Tyrone Poole is in the building. Tyrone, welcome back, sir.
How you doing, Jonathan? How you doing, Tree? How you guys doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope your listeners and those watching are safe and doing well also. Thank you for having me.
Amen. And, of course, when we talk football, we have to talk in Atlanta, the Atlanta Falcons, and you know who we have. He's the embedded beat writer for AJC Sports, the guy that always gets the very first question at any Falcons press conference. Also does a phenomenal job throughout the week with his Bowtie Chronicles and Cover 9 on 9. He's also Esquire par excellence. The one and only D Orlando Ledbetter is in the building. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me, Reverend Simmons. Glad to see you, Miss Tree. And hello, Tyrone. How are you doing today?
How you doing, sir? How you doing, Orlando?
All right. Thanks for having me once again.
Well, look, man, it's good to be here and good to talk some football. And before I do that, I just want to make a quick little segue. We don't do this at the beginning of our broadcast. For you Hawks guys, I know you're saying, hey, what happened to us? Just a quick side thing here. I want to ask Tree this question. The Atlanta Hawks, up and down play, are you okay with it, thinking they maybe can put everything together in the second half, or do you think the ship is leaking?
No, I'm definitely okay with it. And I think they will put everything together. If you've been watching the games, they're playing really well right now. And I really think that they still will make the playoffs. So I'm very hopeful, and I like the play that I'm seeing. I love the hustle. I love the offense. I love the defense. I love what they're doing on the court.
Yeah, I think that we're going to have to be patient with this team. D-Led, I know, again, you primarily cover the Falcons, but just kind of your side eye, have you had a chance to see the Hawks? And if so, what are you thinking about their chances to right the ship?
I'm listening to him on the way home tonight early against Cleveland, trying to get 2 in a row. My expectations were a little bit higher for them this year, and hopefully they could still get there. I thought they had a realistic chance to move up in a weakened East, and I'm quite frankly a little disappointed with where they're at, and just turnovers, lack of defense. I know players are hurt, but that's going to happen every year. I was hoping they make greater strides this year, and the clock is still running on them, and we're going to give them a full opportunity here. Got 6 games over the next 9 days. They need to go ahead and get some W's on the court. It's all about winning in pro sports. I mean, looking good and scoring 35 points and you losing every night. That's that's not winning basketball. Let's see some winning basketball. Let me see some defense. Let me see you stop blowing games in the fourth quarter. But this is characteristic of a team learning how to win. Once they learn how to do it, then you repeat, do it again. And so we're just seeing some struggles of a young team that's trying to learn how to win.
Tyrone, have you had a chance to watch the Hawks at all? I know you're busy getting set for this new season, but have you had a chance to peek at them? And what are your thoughts? You played at the highest level, 14 years. Do you see a team that might be able to kind of turn the corner?
Well, when it comes to any sports, it's a team effort, and basketball is one of those sports that it takes a team, but I believe individuals win in basketball. You got Trae Young. I think he can do his thing, but they got to surround him with other players, and I just believe it takes more than one. So until they get that person in the middle. I still believe, like in basketball, football, it starts in the center, in the middle. Football is offense, defensive line. I think in basketball, if you can get that dominant big guy, which allows the defense to not they have to play the paint, and you can shoot from the outside. So, I still believe that's the way to win. Yes, you can win from the outside shooting. The Golden State Warriors have shown that. But if you look at the Lakers, they got LeBron and AD. So it's like they basically saying, we're going to force your defense to collapse and play us in the paint, and then we'll take our shots on the edge. So until I think, you get a fulfillment of a team roster like that where you can play down low and from the outside, then I think you become a contender. So I would ask the question with, no, I don't think they've turned the corner yet.
Well, I put the shades on here. Don't throw shades.
Okay.
Don't throw shades at the Hawks, but I will say this much. I think, like D-Led, obviously we're disappointed. I think the big thing that I keep trying to put the brakes on is this. I have to keep telling myself they haven't really played any real length of games with their full roster. They've got several free agent guys that are pretty good, guys that are coming off injuries. Certainly, we saw what DeAndre Hunter was doing before he got injured. I think the key things are going to be this. I don't really care. I'm not saying don't care. I just need them to kind of tread water here in the first half because, as you guys both know, and treat the same thing. It's not how you start, by you finish. I'd rather a team be red hot going into the playoffs than what I've seen Hawks teams do before, play very well in the regular season and stink it out in postseason. So for me, I don't really mind that much as long as they don't get too far behind, try to keep within a couple of games of 500 and then see what they have going on in the second half. The other thing, too, is I think John Collins is going to have to make a decision. Is he going to just continue to focus on this season, trying to get that money? And I know, Tyrone, you got to get that bag. But I said at the end of the day, at some point, you guys say, all right, well, are my chance to get that money better if I'm playing for a winning team or kind of in my little semi-sulking mode, which appears to me at times he is. So, John, if you listen, get out your feelings, bro. Let's come on and play some Hawk basketball, play team, and we'll be good. That's all I got to say about them Hawks. That's it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's shift to the NFL. All right. Tyrone, before we go into that, can you give us an update about what's happening at HBCU football? Two things. Number one, quick comments on the whole Deion thing. They won their first game. He had a little locker room incident afterwards. I don't want to get into that, but kind of the prospects of spring football for Black college football from what you can see, and how excited are you to be a part of it?
Well, the spring football thing, I'm not really with it, to be honest with you. Football is one of those sports that's very demanding on the body, and you need time to recover. It's not like baseball. It's not like basketball. It's not like any other sport. The body does go through rigorous pounding. So that's why those guys need those months to heal. So I'm not a fan of spring football, but for those who are playing spring football, they go out and just be safe and, hey, give you guys an opportunity. Now, I do know why they're doing it. The real reason, just like you mentioned, Jonathan, the finances. A lot of HBCUs lost a lot of money. So they're trying to find ways to keep that gate open, and spring football was one of the ways that they thought they can do it or thinking they can do it. So, but I'm a fan of just letting the kids ride it out. They're all getting their eligibility back. So those who lost their eligibility because of the COVID, they are getting their eligibility back. So why not let them play in the fall just as usual, the sleep pattern. We all got sleep patterns. So if I'm always going to sleep at 3 o'clock, then let me go to sleep at 3 o'clock. It keeps my body on a regimen. So let the kids play in the fall. I'm not a big fan of spring football. Too many injuries could happen from spring back to fall.
All right. Well, we got to do this. Radio people, we know that you've been patiently waiting for us to sign off. We know it's at the 9 o'clock hour. So for those of you listening to us on WIGO, we appreciate you so much. Big shout out to Carl Eli Smith, the man behind the glass, does the wonderful gospel show, 9 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday through Friday, except on Wednesday, called the Eli Smith Gospel Show. Great gospel music going on there. Again, that's at WIGO 1570 Atlanta's Incredible Radio. Till next time, everybody over there, God bless you and good night. Well, yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, yeah, I got mixed feelings with it. They do have to do it because of the money. D-Led, the HBCUs are kind of squeezed. Tree, the same thing. They're trying to do what they can to grab some dollars. So hopefully and prayerfully, this shortened, 6-game season. They start hopefully late in fall, and it won't be too much wear and tear on the bodies of these young men. That's my hope. All right, D-Led, let's shift a little bit to NFL and Falcons football. Any breaking news coming out of the Falcons camp as far as any new coaches or roster changes?
Yeah, we talked to Coach Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot today. Normally this week would have been the combine, and we'd be up in Indianapolis. And then before we go on any further, let's just say how dope Tyrone Poole's background is with those 2 Super Bowl trophies and all his football helmets. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting Tyrone over here at Campbell High when TK Dunn was the head coach, and he was working with the kids. That might have been 6 or 7 years ago, but always one of the great pros, always giving back in the community. But they tried not to say much, but in the meantime, while they were trying so hard not to say much, they were letting us know that some of the veterans are going to be let go. They're renegotiating contracts. They don't have a lot of money, and the scouting department is going to be on notice to go find some football players. And they're talking about finding them all throughout the season. So what that means is, free agency's coming up. They don't have any money, so they're not finding them there. The draft's coming up. They probably got to maximize in the draft. So, it sounds like they're going to trade back. They said they can trade up, back, or stay put. But, when you're talking about trading back, that's usually what happens. Because, they only have 38 players under contract, lowest in the league. They're $20 million over the cap. So they got to get a bunch of cheap players or low-cost players in here. And the best way to do that is through the draft and through the waiver wires. You're going to get a bunch of veterans in here on a minimum contract. We're going to wait till the prices get pushed down late in free agency and then start cherry-picking guys. And then, they're going to be in the 4th spot on the waiver wire. So, if the good teams say Kansas City's cutting linemen, the Falcons are going to be the 4th team in line to pick them up. So, that sounds horrible, but that's where they are right now.
But there it is, guys. And again, I'll pop it up on the screen here. That's what we talked about here in the second half. You heard our women-to-women associates. We talked about Tiger Woods. We didn't talk too much about Kobe. So now we're talking NFL draft and free agency. Of course, the Falcons updates. and even some mock draft scenarios. Well, Tree, after hearing that about what's going on with the Falcons, what would you like to see them do? Would you prefer to see them stay at number 4, or would you like to see them maybe trade back and get some more picks?
Well, listening to D-Led, being over the cap is definitely a huge problem. And so we know that they have to do whatever that they need to do to get back. I still do think that we need to take the 4th round pick, because we also need great talent here. And I think bringing in somebody that's in a 4th pick in the 1st round would make a huge difference for the Falcons. But looking at their strategy of what they have in play to actually bring down the money that they're spending on players, I mean, that's a huge problem. And so they definitely have to do what they can to get in there. But I do think we should still take the fourth pick.
All right, so now that you mentioned that 4th pick, I'm going to put you back on the spot again. Do you think that we should, now this operative thing here, if a quarterback, one of the alleged top 3 or 4 quarterbacks is still there, do you think we should pick a quarterback, or do you think that we should go in another direction?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, I think we should take the best player.
Well said. It sounds like she's from the Terry Fontenot School, I believe, D.
Yes, it does.
Well, Tyrone, what are you thinking? You think we should go ahead and stay with that number 4 pick, or you think we should trade down and try to get some additional picks based on what D-Led's talking about, the cupboard being bare and us being over the cap?
Well, the cap is always something big. With the pandemic again, the pandemic played havoc on everybody's cap. So with no fans coming to the game, of course, the cap could not go up as high as it could have gone up. So this is where teams really have to be strategic in how they at least get through the 2021 year. And I do believe that times will get better. Fans will come back to the game, and then you'll kind of see the 2022 season pick back up. But I do think with the Falcons, they do have a few guys that they want to try to look at and keeping, Alex Mack, the center, Neal, the safety. So every year it seems like the Falcons are looking for somebody on defense. They really need an edge rusher. I don't care who you draft in the secondary. If you don't have anybody on that front line to put heat in a pass-happy type of league, then you're asking for trouble. But I do think the Falcons have the capabilities on offense if they can keep everybody happy. Maybe Julio Jones can say, you know what, I'll take renegotiate my contract to free up some money, even though, Julio was kind of injury prone, but I still think he is a great receiver. And, Calvin Ridley, he's doing a great job. And I think even, with Matty Ice, I think, Tom Brady has shown that you don't have to be, you can still be old. But as long as you know where to throw the ball and surround yourself with good players, you can win. So I still believe the Falcons have the ability. The NFC South is getting tougher and tougher. If Deshaun Watson comes to Carolina, like everybody's saying, it's like the NFC South is going to be on fire, man. So I just think the Falcons need to try to do what they can to manage the 2021 season and give it one more run. And then after that, I think you're going to have to see the team dismantle, and they're going to start back over.
Do you have any chance that we get a renegotiation of salaries or salary adjustments from the 2 men that we just mentioned, Julio Jones and especially Matt Ryan? Any shot that these guys will come to the table if the Falcons presented them with a reason to take a little less money?
Oh, without a doubt.
I did a story on Sunday with Joel Curry. He has Inside the Cap. He's from Emory, got his finance degree, used to be an agent with Steve Jackson's agent. And we went down the whole list together. He doesn't want to touch Matt Ryan and Julio's contract because they've renegotiated them twice already. And you got to take the hit at some point. The contract he wants to renegotiate, or Matt Ryan's going to have the highest cap number in the league. Grady Jarrett has the 4th highest number in the league for defensive tackles. So you can go to his contract. Jake Matthews has the 1st highest number in the league for tackles. So those 2 numbers are coming down. They're renegotiating those 2. Deion Jones number is really high. That's coming down too. Those are the three that they're going to renegotiate. And then, there's a fourth one. It's Tyler Davidson. And then, James Carpenter is in danger of being cut. Arthur Smith likes the lineman, so he's going to try to keep him at a renegotiated price, perhaps. And then Dante Fowler, he's got 16 point plus million on the cap. And, after getting just 2 sacks, they're going to want to come in and give him a pay cut and give him an incentive-laden contract. That's how they're going to get under the cap. They're not going to touch Matt Ryan and Julio. They're on the end of those deals, and they've already pushed it all the way to the back. So there's no room on those 2 deals, even though they're the biggest. But the next 4 are in play, and then the next 2 and a pay cut. And that'll get you about $10 million to play with. You need money for the rookies and for the occasional veteran player that comes up. So, your top 51 salaries are what count towards the cap, and they only got 38 players, and they're already over the cap.
Wow. I'm really kind of speechless. I don't even know what to say, how the Falcons got themselves in this position. But if we remember, New Orleans was kind of that same spot, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago. Same thing. They were all over, and they still found a way to put together a team out there that can win. All right, if you're looking at the Falcons draft, I think that all of us have the consensus, the best player available. There is some rumblings that Justin Fields is going to be pushed down either to the 4 or past the 4. Again, I ask this question every week. If he's there at 4, is it really a no-brainer, or do you try to go another direction and get the big tackle out of Oregon, Penei Sewell, I guess it is?
Yeah, I think he's gone from what I'm hearing. But if he's there, if he's the best player, take him. Folks are pushing up Zach Wilson, and I don't know why. It's the same thing with Trubisky. I mean, I was there in 2017 at the Combine. I sat down with Bill Polian for like a half an hour. We broke down the quarterbacks. And you gotta play, at least 30 games in college and have a 70% winning percentage. And none of these guys, that's the Bill Parcells test. None of these guys have done that, except for Trevor Lawrence. So, they're getting all gaga over Wilson, just like they did over Carson Wentz, just like they did over Trubisky. So I'm like, hopefully the Falcons under new leadership know what they're looking at, and they saw what Justin Fields did in the Clemson game. We're hearing. I'm telling you, because I'm in the football talks with all these guys. He played poorly against Northwestern. 25 Ohio State players were out with COVID. Okay, he played poorly against Alabama. He was hurt. He got speared in the Clemson game. Came back in through touchdown passes. So when they try to knock him down, you got to do the counter arguments to build him back up. Now, who in the Falcons' brain trust is going to be bumping for Justin? That's going to be the key. And if the owner he knows what a quarterback can do to excite the fan base. So, hopefully they get to the right conclusion. And my mock draft 1.0 is up, and I have him taking Justin Fields, and I'm going to stay there for now until I start hearing some plausible information and not the regular systematic racist knockdowns on black quarterbacks.
I'm gonna say this. Just like peanut butter and jelly, ham and a burger. You can have a quarterback, but if you ain't got no running game, that rookie quarterback is gonna struggle. Whoever you put back there, you can get a veteran. They're gonna struggle. So until the Falcons can put a running back there to take the heat, especially if they get a rookie, man, if they don't have a running back, a solid running game, it's feast or famine for that rookie quarterback. So you can put Justin Fields back there. You can put Peyton Manning back there, his rookie year.
Yeah.
Struggle. So, until they solve that running game, Todd Gurley, it is what it is. So, again, if I'm the Falcons, if there are other teams looking for Justin Fields, want to move up, if they want to give up a king ransom, I'll trade down and pick up other draft choices. Because, again, if you can get the running game going, you can put not anybody, but you can put a good quarterback back there. And as long as that quarterback knows that take what the defense gives the offense, then you can win. But I still believe in this game, you got to be able to run the ball. You saw what Tampa Bay did. So they won the Super Bowl. So get yourself a running back, get the running game going. It makes that play action easy for your quarterback. Keeps your quarterback off the ground.
Well, it sounds good. I already know that from Tree's previous experience, she's like defense. So if we can't get Justin Fields, I'm sure you would like us to pick a defensive player. Tree, is that right?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be great to get offense as well. But, you know, like you said, I do think that we need a very good defensive line. And it's just like Tyrone was saying earlier. We need somebody on the line that really is going to scare the other team's quarterbacks. We need somebody here who, when people play the Atlanta Falcons, they know, hey, we're going up against this guy. We need to change the way we're running our offense because he's attacking our quarterback. So it would be great if we could get a great defender like that. But again, I think that we should definitely take the best player available. And if that happens to be a quarterback, then hey, if that happens to be a running back, then hey, I just want the best player available because we need great talent.
Well, Ms. Doleman, funny you should mention it. The folks over at PFF, Pro Football, they did a mock draft. And this is how they got it squared out. They said at number one, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars will take quarterback from Clemson, Trevor Lawrence. At number two, the Jets, having good sense, says we're going to get a marquee quarterback in here. They're going to draft Justin Fields. At the number three slot, it says that Miami is going to get a guy that's familiar with the quarterback of the future, Talalogo. Well, I always screw his name up. And bring in the wide receiver from Alabama, Devontae Smith. And they said that the Falcons will then turn the defense and bring a man that D-Led has mentioned from time to time, the unbelievably athletic linebacker out of Penn State, Micah Parsons. So, Ms. Doleman, the guys who are at PFF think that the Falcons might go defense. If now, the operative thing is Justin Fields is already gone.
I like that.
Yeah, I know you like that. I know you miss defense. I know you like it.
Yeah, if that falls like that, then they can trade back, get some picks from Carolina. Carolina can come up and get their quarterback, and they can still get Parsons at 8.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. So
you don't want to overdraft him and take him at 4 when he's not the 4th best player. You know, you have a situation like the Raiders when they took Cleveland Farrell that high just because they needed a defensive end. You could have got him or somebody better or just as good later. So, you know, you don't want to overdraft the guy. So maybe you know, they do good work at PFF, but I think you can get Mr. Parsons a little bit later than 4.
Well, at the end of the day, I'm going to go back to the same thing I've been saying since this whole draft has started. I just want them to get a player that's going to be an impact player. Now, obviously, I think that everybody's eyes are going to be on that draft board early on. It does appear that Justin Fields will be gone, that the Jets will probably take him. I don't know if he's that excited about going to the Jets. And that's the other thing. I mean, now, I don't know if it would work, but could we see – I don't think so, but could we see the Fields family pull off a Manning deal, say we ain't going to the Jets? Could we see that? I'm just saying. I'm saying, I don't want my boy to go to New York.
I don't know. Unless his dad has the name Archie in his middle name, that may be kind of tough. I think Archie kind of threw a little bit of hat in the ring, and you know, Eli, and he already had Peyton in the NFL, so he had a strong voice. But I think when you have some of these kids coming out, you know, they just want to play ball. And I think they would probably go wherever they're drafted. I know with me, you know what, I just want to play football and to have opportunity to play on the biggest stage and professionally, you know what, I don't care if I'm drafted by a team who didn't win no games last year. I'm just hoping that I'm a part of the puzzle that they continue to build towards the future and become a champion. So again, unless your name Archie and you already got a son named Peyton, then I don't think Justin Field family would probably disagree with the Jets taking him. Plus, he's in New York. Well, it's nothing bigger than New York. I'm like, he could build a name in New York.
Oh, no doubt.
I agree with Tyrone. I think it's all a blessing anyway. If you look at the percentage of players that actually get to play in the NFL and complete their dream, it doesn't matter what team I feel that you get drafted with. It's just the fact that, hey, somebody believed in me, somebody took a chance on me. Let me go and show them that they took a chance on me and that it was a good chance to take, and go improve yourself. So I don't think they definitely should turn down the Jets. It's a great opportunity.
All right, D-Led. So let's just fast forward here. Let's just say that Justin Fields is off the table, and the Falcons put together and get some additional picks. Who would you then want them to see? Let's just say if they drop down to 7, 8, or 9, who would you want them to pick up number one? And would you want them to get a running back if a marquee running back was available in now? I guess they picked 35th or 40th, I think, in the second round. Or would you want to see him go to a lineman?
Yeah, I would. If I can get into the 20s some kind of way, I would try to come up with my new bounty. You know, I'm going to take Parsons or Rousseau or one of these pass rushers at 8, between 8 and 12. And then if I can come up in the 20s and figure out where Najee Harris is going, then I'm getting the running back. When we're talking about that running game that Brother Poole was talking about, we got a big horseback like Coach Arthur Smith had over at Tennessee. Now, you know, we gotta fix the block for our big running back. But you know, you can spend the rest of the draft drafting linemen that get your pass rusher guy, your running back up high, and then you just take linemen the whole rest of the draft if you have to.
Well, the Falcons got their work cut out for them because unfortunately they have a lot of holes. But clearly, from what we can see, the selection of Arthur Smith, a guy that's had some experience with kind of taking offense that have been kind of flat and getting more out of the quarterback, especially than I think people had expected. The fact that he isn't familiar with a running game, I do think that this draft is going to set the Falcons up to do what Tyrone said, to put Matt Ryan in a position that any older quarterback needs, the ability to have that play action fake be real. So I think the fact that Matt's going to be here and who's going to be here for another year, possibly another 2 years, they're going to take one more shot to be competitive. The other thing, too, is that, you know, you can't get people in the stands if your team stinks. We've seen that the last 2 years. People have they're bailing on these PSLs like no tomorrow. So there's no question the Falcons are going to try to find some way to get a running attack where Matt Ryan can be effective in play action. And also, I think they're going to speed the tempo up a little bit because Matt plays much better in tempo. I know he's older, but he still plays better in an up-tempo offense. What do you guys think about that?
Reverend, I don't think you can speed the tempo up with that defense. You know, you're giving up 500 yards a game. You got to keep them off the field. So, I mean, you know, I talked to Shanahan about that, and I talked to Coach Cable about that. When you run the outside zone system with those linemen, you know, running 20 and 30 yards on each play, tempo is off the table at that point. And, you know, Bobby Turner, you know, I covered Bobby when he was back at Ohio State a long time ago. And, you know, them are the guys I listen to. So I'm not just making it up, you know. And I know Malarkey, and that's the old Sam Weiss offense that, you know, when I first started covering the Bengals back in the day, they were running, you know, they kind of invented the tempo and the sugar huddle and all that. You get your linemen tired and you put your defense back on the field too much. Till this defense gets better, you can't really do that. And if you're going to run the outside zone system, them big boys going to get tired. I mean, we see Matt get down in the 2 minutes whenever they go to it. But yeah, until you get the team better, you can't really do that as much.
Yeah, and I think also just adding to that, if you were to speed the tempo up, and Orlando made some good points, and also just look at it from the side, if you are going to speed up your offense, Jonathan, I think your defense has to play basic. You have to become like a cover 2 type team where they don't expend a lot of energy. You can't be too much of a blitz happy team because the tempo of that offense, they're going to be going up and down the field, scoring points. Your defense not going to have time to rest. I know I play defense, so I'm like, come on, guys. Can y'all just hold on to the ball for at least 5 minutes and let us get some rest? But, you know, if you do have a speed ball type of offense, that's good. And I do believe in today's offense, it's like today's games, offenses is like pinballs. You know, they put up 30 and 40 points. So you got to have a team that can go up and down the field quick, but also you got to have a defense that, you know, may not be as aggressive, but at least they can get 1 or 2 stops to give your offense the edge and kind of swing the momentum. So it can happen, Jonathan, but, you know, you got to have, like Orlando said, you got to have a defense, man, that, you know, you got to give them rest. They're like cheetahs, I call it. You know, a cheetah only has a certain amount of time that it can expend energy, top speed. And then after that, man, that cheetah say, boy, go ahead, pray. I get up with you next time. So defense is like a cheetah, you know, we only got enough energy. And then if we stay on the field too long, we start to say, man, go ahead, get that touchdown, get that big play, holding penalties. So, yeah, speed ball, but you got to have a good defense as well.
Well, I think you guys have hit on all the points here. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what the Falcons do in their draft, whether they're going to go with a big lineman, a guy that everybody thinks that might be a 10-year fixture, maybe get you a couple of Pro Bowls, or whether they're going to, trade back and pick up some pieces. Any thoughts, since you guys, everybody's on this defense, any thoughts that the Falcons try to pick up a defender in the back half? There's some talk about this young man that plays, I guess, out of nickel or slot position out of Washington. I can't think of his name right now. Any thoughts the Falcons might once again go and dip in defensive backs in the draft?
I haven't heard. I think it's Nwosa or
I think that's what it is. I can't pronounce it right now.
Out of Washington, Asante Samuel Jr., Patrick Surtain II. Those are the names I'm hearing, but I think if they're the best player, they're gonna take them. But I would think that the defensive end group, you'd have a couple guys ahead of them. You want to draft a slot guy, and Tyrone probably doesn't like this, but you don't draft slot corners, that high. But you need that's a starting position now. So if you can't match up in the slot, your guy's open all day. And we saw, you can see the veteran quarterback just zero in on that nickel, and it could be a long day for the defense if the nickel isn't good. So maybe that's a new way to do it, to take a nickel back that high.
Times are changing. Everything is changing. It used to be where you draft a corner and that guy plays outside, inside, but the way offensive formations are going, it's always 3 wides, 4 wides, empty. Even the running back, you look at Christian McCaffrey, they're looking for those types of running backs like that, set up different and awkward matchup for the linebackers. So even your linebackers now have to be like hybrid guys that can run 4-4, versus that Mike Singletary stuff it in the middle type of linebacker. You look at just look at the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay's linebackers, man, they were active and dropping back in coverage. So yes, I think you need to draft, and we will see that time change, Orlando, where even the guy that they consider nickel really is a starting corner. It's a starting corner. You got to have 3 starting corners. Just like on offense, you got to have 3 starting receivers. It's no longer a number 1, number 2. That's just the generalized thing, but you need a 1-1-1 across that board. Even on your offensive line, you need a 1 outside right tackle, 1 left tackle. So it's like the game is becoming faster. The guys are becoming more athletic. It's all about matchups. And if I can find a weakness on your team, I'm going to exploit it. So to fix it, offensively or defensively, I got to find the top guy at that position. But I still think it starts with the front 7 on defense. You got to find that D-line. You got to then solidify with the linebackers, and that makes it easy on the back end. So that's just, my 2 Super Bowl advice.
Well, like I said, man, the Falcons got their work cut out for them. I think it's going to be a definite challenge. There's some interesting stuff out there. Again, they have, I believe it's 3 picks in the first 110 picks. So whether they use them all or whether they trade back to get more picks in that top 100, the only thing I can tell you is this: they're going to need a draft, the same type of draft they had the year before they went to the Super Bowl, where they out of that draft can get 3 or 4 legitimate starters that can impact this game. If they can do that, then this team can make a run, because the realities are, offensively, they really weren't that bad. I mean, they had stretches where they did some strange stuff, but they were able to move the ball fairly well most of the season.
Yeah, until the red zone.
Right. Yeah, they know how to get in that end zone, I don't think. Well, guys, as always, the time has flown. Once we start talking football, the time goes. So we want to make sure before anybody gets off the air that people know how they can find out more about you, social media, website, all that kind of good stuff. So to our two-time Super Bowl champion, Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Orlando, for being on the show. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Ms. Tree, for giving me the opportunity. Those who want to find out more about me, all social media, Tyrone Poole 38. You also can go to my foundation, Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. That is very simple, Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation.org. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you, sir. And we look forward to having you back on again real soon. Tyrone Poole in the building. Now we go here to our favorite Esquire par excellence, D Orlando Ledbetter. Let me get Tyrone's information off. One thing before we get off here, D-Led, something interesting. So I don't know, maybe it's the way like your name is written on the screen, but I noticed when you were with the OG coach from Baltimore, he's the only guy I've ever heard call you on the air Daryl. He had you by the government name.
Oh, yeah, Coach Pease, yes.
Coach Pease, yes, sir. I was like, oh, okay, he's like that, but I got to give him some props. He's in his 70s, and the guy looks razor sharp. So kudos to you and him. Great interview with you two guys. But again, the floor is yours.
Oh, well, thank you, Reverend and Miss Tree and Brother Poole for coming on today and sharing the show. You can find me on Twitter at D Orlando AJC, and the website's ajc.com. The 9 at 9 blog comes out every Wednesday at 9. And the Bullseye Chronicles podcast at 8 a.m. Thanks for following us, and thanks for listening to the podcast.
D-Led, as always, man, appreciate you. God bless, and we look forward to having you back on. Well, we like to have you on every week, but that's another story. All right, man, be blessed.
Thank you.
Well, Tree, it looks like it's just you and me. So the floor is yours.
Hello. You can find me at It's LaTresa. That's ITSLATRESA. And that's on Instagram, Twitter, and that's where you can find all the other information about me.
There's right there. You see it right there on the screen there, guys. Follow Ms. Tree Doleman at It's LaTresa. That makes it nice and simple and easy. There you go. Well, guys, as you know, there I am. Okay, so you can follow the show at Real Talk Sports 7. I'll put that up so you guys can see it. Real Talk Sports 7 follows anywhere on social media. We're there on Twitter, Instagram, even on Facebook. Just put in at Real Talk Sports 7. Also on Twitch as well. You'll find us right there. If you want to follow me personally, I'm on here somewhere. Where'd I go? There I am. You can follow me personally at Minister J Sim right there. You can check me out right there as well. Remember, follow us on our YouTube page at Real Talk Sports TV. All right, guys, we appreciate you so much. Until the next time you have us on this broadcast, we say we love you. We appreciate you. And remember, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, please, man, please, sir, get to know him today. With all the crazy stuff going on in this world, you already know you need to get to know the Lord. I will tell you, and our lovely co-host, Miss Tree, will tell you as well, you can't beat the Lord. He loves us all. All right, guys, again, until the next time we see you, God bless you, and have a great day. Goodbye.